What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Unplugged and Uncut, the new source for sports news and entertainment. You are live with your boy Unique, and today we're going to get into Kai Sotto, what's next, and then we're going to get into Keldon Johnson and the San Antonio Spurs. Before we get started, though, if you have not taken the time to hit that subscribe button, make sure you do. I'm giving away a PlayStation 5 disc edition. Not to mention, we are going to go ahead and visit the Spurs shop next week, pick up some Spurs swag. That way we can have that gear as well for some of our lucky subscribers to win. All you got to do to be entered to win is be an active subscriber and leave comments in the comment section. But without further ado, let's get into today's subjects. We're going to start with Kai Sotto of the 36ers. He did get new representation after firing his previous agent, and he is ready to return to action. Kai Sotto and the 36ers will be playing in 2 preseason games against NBA teams. This will be one of Kai Sotto's last chances to show that he has what it takes to go up against NBA level talent. Now, the 2 teams he will be going up against are the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Phoenix Suns. Both of these opponents bring unique challenges for Kai Sotto in that they have excellent bigs. So he'll get a chance to go up against a very young, talented player such as Chet Holmgren in the Oklahoma City Thunder to see if he has what it takes to play against these players, keep up, and to show what he has. He'll also get a chance to possibly go up against DeAndre Ayton, who is a top 5 big in the NBA. This is the exact type of opportunity that could serve Kai Sotto a lot of justice and do him a lot of good, getting the chance to bang and show what he has against 2 of the upper level bigs in the NBA. One real young, talented player with a lot of upside, and one player who is still young and talented, but who is already fulfilling some of that upside in DeAndre Ayton, being a top 5, arguably top 4 big in the league. Now, going undrafted for Kai Sotto does have advantages. He is free to sign with any team he chooses in the NBA. However, when going about it this way, he does have to learn how to foster these relationships, which leads me to 2 questions for Kai Sotto. The first revolving around the contract. Are you willing to accept a 2-way offer? You might only receive a 2-way deal. Those only pay you a certain amount of money, but it gives you a chance to get your foot into the NBA door in a more solid rotation into an NBA lineup. Are you willing to accept that type of contract? If not, are you willing to accept a minimum deal? Because now you're asking a team to carry you for the full length of the season, and they have to believe in your talent. So you're going to need to go out there and perform at a really high level against the Chet Holmgrens and DeAndre Aytons of the world if you want them to offer you a full minimum contract, because you do not want to accept the 2-way contract. This seems to be one of the reasons Kai Sotto was not picked in the 2nd round. He did not want to accept the 2-way contract. At least that's what sources are stating. Now, I don't know Kai Sotto personally, so I can't say that this is true, but that is the rumors and the rumblings going around the NBA circle, that Kai Sotto was not willing to accept a 2-way deal. Now, the second question is going to go around your personality. We're talking about fostering relationships. So being a young player, do you listen? Are you coachable? Do you get along with your teammates? Something the Spurs like to say, are you over yourself? He is a star in a sense, being the first Filipino player trying to make the NBA with a whole lot of talent. The kid's talent level is undeniable, but is he over himself? Or does he see himself as that star of his country? That could become a problem. Teams, coaches, and other players like to play with people who have that star talent, but they're over themselves. So that's the 2 questions. What type of contract are you willing to accept? And what is your personality like? So that's going to be Kai Sotto in a nutshell, guys. He's going to have a chance in the NBA preseason coming up in October to show these teams what he has against Chet Holmgren, the number 2 draft pick in the NBA. If you go out there and you perform, people are going to notice that. If you go out there and you bang with DeAndre Ayton and you're somehow able to outplay DeAndre Ayton, not saying he is, not saying he isn't, but even if you can't outplay these players, if you're able to go out there and compete and show that you belong next to them, That could be one of your last chances this season to impress NBA scouts with them right there looking at you. Now, you'll have overseas scouts watching your game develop, but this is a little bit different. This is in an actual NBA game. Now, it's only preseason, but you're playing with NBA players, so it's big time for Kai Sotto. We'll be watching out. And for our Kai Sotto fans, I'll do my best to keep you guys updated like I promised. This is all we have for now. But now we got to get right back to them Spurs. That's right, Keldon Johnson is just not going to let us down. Keldon Johnson continues to shine and be a bright spot in a dark offseason. After signing his new contract, this man couldn't wait to get back in the gym. He had a conversation with Tom Osborne of the Express News. I recommend you guys go ahead and read this conversation. It is an excellent read. But just to give you an example, Keldon Johnson states, "I was in the gym the next day." He also mentioned he wants to live up to that contract, stating, "It's always been full-time basketball. I knew as long as I put in the time and effort, the extension would come. I'm in some of the best shape of my life, the strongest I have been in my life. Watch out, NBA. Keldon Johnson stronger? The big body? Whoa." Man, that is great news to hear. Speaking of Keldon Johnson, he averaged 17 points a game. I expect Keldon Johnson to average over 20 points a game. That's right, 20 plus, with his running mate Devin Vassell pushing his scoring from 12 plus to 15 plus a game. And if they keep Jakob, he's going to go from 13.9 to 14 plus a game. That is a lot of scoring right there from three great players. However, if you decide to start Tre Jones and Zach Collins with those three players, that will equal too many wins. You will not get the worst record in the NBA. You will be more competitive than a lot of people think. Right now, because the Spurs do have a stronger than you might think roster, they're actually currently projected to come out with the 6th pick on Tankathon. In fact, the highest I have seen the Spurs predicted to pick is number 2. Not one site has predicted the Spurs to get the number 1 pick yet, which is very interesting. You guys know I'm all over the draft sites. So with the Spurs constantly coming in at 2 through 6, we might need to go ahead and play with a curve, meaning instead of starting Tre Jones and Zach Collins, maybe we go ahead and play like these other teams, the Orlando Magic, Oklahoma City Thunder, and run our rookies. Let Blake Wesley and Jeremy Sohan start over Tre Jones and Zach Collins, just to put that curve there. That way the Spurs can still play to win, but hopefully not win as many games. Blake Wesley might surprise some people, guys. Jeremy Sohan didn't get a chance, so he might surprise us as well. But in theory, starting the rookies should help curb the Spurs' ability to win more games, especially if this really is the Victor Wembanyama march. If we're marching towards that number 1 draft pick, and that is the goal, to get in the best position as possible for that pick, you got to run with the rookies. If you play Josh Richardson, Doug McBuckets with the team that you got, Zach Collins, Tre Jones, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jakob, you are going to win some games. So if I'm the Spurs, I'm placing Jay Rich and Doug McBuckets in bubble wrap. They're going to sit there for safety until I find a place for them to go. So they can go help a team that wants to win. You guys are getting shrink wrapped. Oh, real quickly, for those looking out for the Joe Wieskamp front, Joe Wieskamp does have a qualifying offer of $1.8 million. Now, I don't know if the Spurs are out there letting him shop to see if he can get a better deal, or if they told him to hold off. We're still trying to work on some of these trades, and we want to hold off on your contract until we know what we're going to do going forward, if we're going to help in the Kevin Durant, Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, or one of these other trades going on out there. So he does have a qualifying offer, though. The Spurs did put that out there, $1.8 million. Thought we'd update that as well. But guys, how do y'all feel? Do y'all think the Spurs need to play with a curve? Do you think they might be too good to get the number 1 draft pick? We're not saying they're going to be a playoff team. We're just saying too good for the number 1 draft pick. Let me specify that, because somebody's going to come and attack me and saying I said the Spurs are going to be a top 5 team in the Western Conference, when I ain't say anything like that. We're just saying that they might be better than we think and too good to get that number 1 draft pick. So we got to play with the curve. You do got the GOAT coaching. Greg Popovich is a monster. He's going to find a way to win games. I don't care if you just sent him the whole G League roster. He's going to find a way to win some games, and he's going to enjoy doing it. So you do got to give Pop somewhat of a curve. The Spurs were in the play-in tournament last year. They really weren't that far from being a playoff team with the roster constructed. They lost DeJounte Murray. Trey Jones is a monster. I could easily see Trey Jones averaging 10 to 15 points and 7 to 9 assists a game to help replace what DeJounte Murray brought to the table. Not to mention, Trey Jones is an excellent on-ball defender. I mean, that's why I keep saying we got to start Blake Wesley. I'm not saying Blake Wesley is better than Trey Jones. I'm saying that gives you a better chance at getting Victor Wembanyama. So that's all we're trying to say there, guys. Can't wait to see how everybody feels. Do y'all agree, though, that we might need to give Greg Popovich some type of handicap? How do y'all feel about Keldon Johnson just coming out, going back to work? Do you agree with me? Keldon Johnson is poised for a breakout season. He's going to average over 20 points a game. His second leading scorer and running mate will be Devin Vassell. No way I see Devin Vassell averaging under 15 points a game. He will be at 15 plus. Big season for these two guys. They get their chance to be the Spurs' go-to scorers. It should be a fun season for the San Antonio Spurs in a losing effort. We definitely want to count the losses this year. This is the one year we want to count losses like we were shooting for Tim Duncan. We are going for Victor Wembanyama, and let's do it. Let's go all in. Heck, I'd start all the rookies, all three of them. Find a way to get Malachi Brandon in there if you could. Or leave it up to Josh Primo and Malachi Brandon to go head-to-head in a battle for that shooting guard position. Move Devin Vassell to the 3. Keep Keldon at the 4. And Jeremy Sohan can play the 5. All the rookies in there. Let them run. Let them go. Get the experience. And let's lose some more. Because this is the one time that losing equals winning. That's right. I said it. Y'all can bash me. I ain't gonna be mad at you. I am pro tank. That's right. No limit. Master P did a lot with a tank. So if Master P could do all that with a tank, imagine what the great Greg Popovich could do with a tank. That's all your boy got. And we are out. Peace.